This is called the Thirst Trap from Chemical Guys. It is a brand new type of drying towel slash chamois. And in today's video, we're gonna find out, is this thing just a gimmick or is it actually a good way to dry your vehicle? So right off the bat, coming in at $25, this thing comes in at a total footprint of 24 inches by 28 inches. Now, like I said, it's basically a chamois cloth wedged between two pieces of microfiber. I actually cut this one open so you guys can actually see what is going on here. So I'm gonna bring it in close to you. So here you go, guys. There is the yellow in there. That's the chamois wedged between two pieces of microfiber. And then you have a nice silk banded edge all the way around. Now, an interesting thing to note that I came across is it's basically three pieces of the chamois running this way. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it's even less. I think they did it in quarters, or actually, sorry, throughout this whole thing, there'll be six pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 9? Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. But basically what it is if you look here, there's a gap in the chamois right here, and it goes to full microfiber. I think that's just so you can actually fold the thing versus if it dries out, it's gonna get a little bit stiff. Now, as far as the construction goes, I saw on a video, I didn't see it on the packaging, but I saw on one of their videos that they state it is a 70-30 blend of microfiber. So nice high quality microfiber. Traditionally, guys, and I don't know if this is true, this is just what we've all been accustomed to. The higher the blend, the 70-30, it's polyester and polyamide, the higher the blend, the better. The less scratch prone, the softer it is, 70-30, and then you go to 80-20, so that reduces the 20 is the polyamide, that reduces the polyamide, not quite as good as 70-30, and then you can go into other things like 90-10s and all that kind of stuff. So, but this one they list as a 70-30. I'm going to talk to you guys about how it actually worked in a second here, but first I do want to talk more about the construction because I don't know how they did this. It seems like it is absolutely melted or fused together. I was trying to pull this apart as hard as I could. Like, you can see I'm really struggling at pulling this apart. Okay, so I mean, construction, it seems to be well built. That's not going to separate because obviously if it separates, it's not going to function the way that they intended. Doesn't seem like that's going to be an issue at all. It's well built. So before we head out and actually use this thing, I want to talk about the different types of drying accessories we have, right? We have the chamois, or the absorber is a synthetic version of that. And basically it's just a piece of material, flop it on, it'll absorb up a bunch of water, and it does a good job. The benefit of that is you can just wring it out and keep going. It works really, really well. The bad part about that is because it is just a thin piece of material, you don't have anything there to help absorb. So if there's any dirt, anything on the vehicle still, it's just gonna be pulling that across, rubbing it across the surface, and you don't want that, right? With the microfiber towels, you're able to do it, and it'll help to absorb into the fibers of the microfiber so that when you come across, you're reducing any risk of damage significantly. Now, within the microfiber drying towel category, there are a bunch of different ones, and my favorite is this, the twist loop drying towel. And as you can see here, if you just look closely, it's just a bunch of little pieces of microfiber that are twisted up and standing up, and that gives you a lot of drying surface area on each one of these strands because it's sticking up and holding a lot of water on each one, versus something like this is just more of like a normal microfiber type of material. So twist loop is by far my favorite. It seems to do the best job. It holds the most water, dries the quickest. You're able to flop it over the hood, just pull, and it leaves it nice and dry. Doesn't leave a lot of streaking behind at all. It really does a good job to absorb everything. This one here is called the, what is this? This is the Dreadnought XL from Autofiber. Fantastic choice. A bunch of different companies make twist loop drying towels, so there are a bunch out there. I sell the Autofiber products on my website. I'll also link some others on Amazon. All that stuff will be linked in the description for you guys. So back to this thing, the Thirst Trap. They basically took the idea of a microfiber drying towel and the chamois, because there are benefits to both, and merged them together. Now, as far as care instruction goes for this thing, they actually state it on their packaging. It's just their normal recommended way of caring for your microfibers. Obviously, if it's not dirty, you could just air dry it and you're good to go, but it is machine washable. Just careful with your temperatures and things like that. Don't use any fabric softeners or anything like that, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so I just finished washing down my wife's truck here, so I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it again. This is deionized water. So as you can see, the water's laying flat on there, right? There's really no protection on this thing at all right now. I'm going to be ceramic coating it, so I just did a strip wash and all that kind of stuff to get it all prepped. So In order to test this towel though, I figured this would be a good opportunity. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wet the sections down again. And then I have the towel here. So we're just gonna test this out and see how well it does. All right guys, so here we go. The hood's all wet. This towel actually does feel more like a chamois, like it's a bit stiffer. So anyways, I'm just gonna plop it down, do our normal pull off. So far it's good, but let me go ahead and grab the camera. And as you can see, hopefully you can see this. Let me see here. There you go. You can see all these streaks of water here. So it is definitely still leaving water on the surface. So I'm going to go across. There we go. And as you can see, and all these little wash marks, guys, that's from when I clayed the vehicle, so it's ready. But as you can see, it is still leaving some stuff behind. We're gonna keep on going around. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit the windows really quickly, see how that does. That looks pretty good, actually. Again, having that microfiber layer there helps to absorb. If you miss anything during the wash, that will help absorb. So it's not, with a traditional chamois or absorber, there's not any absorption there as far as like a soft material. So if there's something still left on the vehicle and you pull it across, it could potentially cause marring. So you just want to be careful about that. This, even though it's a low pile microfiber, at least it's something there. But one of the benefits of a traditional chamois or absorber type cloth, drying cloth, is that you are able to, it absorbs a lot of water and then you're able to wring it out. Now, because this is microfiber around it, it makes it very, very hard to wring out. So I'm really wondering how much I'm gonna be able to get done. So let's just go ahead and go around the truck really quickly. It does feel like as you can see, all this area is saturated, but it doesn't feel super wet. It does feel like the chamois inside is absorbing a lot of it. So all that's really good. Now, because I'm using deionized water, I don't have to worry about picking up all that water. A little bit of streak like that's not a big deal to me because it's spot free. It's not going to be an issue. So it's actually working quite well. A little bit better than I had personally expected it to. Is it as good as a twist loop drying towel? It's different. But again, we basically did this whole side of the truck, except for these little tight spots that are going to drip out. And I feel like I have plenty more room to work with this thing. So we'll come across the back end here. Dry this up, good to go. Because it does have the microfiber wrap on it, if there is any spots that are starting to dry, this will help kind of pick it up. Just a little bit of moisture on your microfiber will help pick that up. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I really thought that this was kind of a gimmicky thing, but it does. And again, I was back and forth, right? Seems like a gimmick, but I do understand the logic behind it. And I have to say, it is working better than I had expected it to. Kind of what I was hoping for, but I wasn't really expecting that much, and it's doing a good job. Alrighty guys, so there you have it. That is the thirst trap. Overall, I'm surprised how well it worked. Now, again, because of the lower pile, I was leaving a little bit of streaking behind. Not a big deal. It's just a very, very, very thin layer of water. That's gonna flash out. You're not gonna leave any water spots or anything like that from that. So not a big deal there, but with the traditional twist loop, I don't get that as much. Now, one benefit of this thing, I have to say, it dried a lot more surface area than I expected it to, and I get it. The chamois inside, that's what's absorbing all that water. Now, because it's a lower pile microfiber, that doesn't stay as, I would like to see if they could almost do a hybrid using a twist loop and see how that would work. I don't know if that would anyway though, really, because the whole benefit of a twist loop is all this whole fiber, that whole 360-degree side of it, of the microfiber, is able to pick up water. So I don't know if it would penetrate in as well. So maybe the low pile is the best for that. But overall, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it worked well. It actually did a good job, especially for those people that have always used a chamois drying towel or cloth. I like this a lot better because you do get that added benefit of safety of the microfiber being able to pick things up a little bit easier and reducing any risk of harming the paint. Now, when you talk about that though, this thing at 25 bucks for 24 by 28 inches, an Absorber XL is like 20 by 30 or something like that, coming in at like 13 bucks. If you go with traditional chamois on Amazon, you can get like a 2-pack for 10 bucks. So it is significantly more expensive. So would I go with that, or would I just recommend someone going to a twist loop? It's really going to be up to your choice. Personally, I'm sticking to the twist loop, but overall, I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised by this thing. I applaud them for trying to be innovative on this kind of a concept, and I think they did a good job. I think I got the idea of it, and I think it was executed well and did perform the way I would think it would. So overall, I think it's cool. It's not something that I'm gonna be using, but I think it's cool. So that's it for today's video, guys. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.